Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Monday, March 4th, 2019. Today I'm going to recap the weekend's college basketball games, NBA games, and NHL games, as well as spring training. Look ahead to the games that are ahead to tonight. Discuss Nick Foles and where he's expected to land. And my best bet of the day. Let's start with college basketball. We'll go over Saturday's games first, and then Sunday's games, and then we'll look ahead to tonight. A lot of interesting results, to say the least. A lot of bubble results that we have to get to as well. Binghamton defeats Maine 83-60. Indiana upsets number 6 Michigan State 63-62. Number 13 LSU defeats Alabama 74-69. Number 15 Kansas defeats Oklahoma State 72-67. Number 18 Florida State defeats NC State 78-73. Syracuse defeats Wake Forest 79-54. Bucknell defeats Army 62-61. Navy defeats Boston University 79-74. Colgate defeats Lafayette 76-60. American defeats Holy Cross 86-66. Number 19 Wisconsin defeats Penn State 61-57. VMI defeats the Citadel 81-78. Northern Kentucky defeats Green Bay 86-82. Arkansas defeats Ole Miss 74-73. UMBC defeats New Hampshire 56-53. Davidson defeats Fordham 77-52. Fairleigh Dickinson defeats Central Connecticut State 70-58. Georgia State defeats Little Rock 83-70. Number 2 Virginia defeats Pitt 73-49. Number 7 Tennessee defeats number 4 Kentucky 71-52. So revenge win there. Number 14 Purdue defeats Ohio State 86-51. Number 24 Wofford defeats Stanford 85-64. Duquesne defeats UMass 80-73. Elam defeats Towson 86-66. Villanova defeats Butler 75-54. Texas defeats Iowa State 86-69. Oklahoma defeats West Virginia 92-80. Ohio defeats Akron 73-49. Indiana State defeats Northern Iowa 71-54. Southern Illinois defeats Illinois State 72-63. Evansville defeats Valparaiso 65-63. Furman defeats Chattanooga 71-50. Campbell defeats Radford 64-62. Gardner-Webb defeats Longwood 66-47. UT Arlington defeats Troy 79-66. Coastal Carolina defeats UL Monroe 97-91. Omaha defeats Denver 86-76. New Mexico State defeats Chicago State 92-58. St. Louis defeats George Mason 81-71. Eastern Michigan defeats Northern Illinois 75-69. Sacred Heart defeats St. Francis, Pennsylvania 94-84. Missouri defeats South Carolina 78-63. Number 3 Duke defeats Miami 87-57. UCF upsets number 8 Houston 69-64. Number 11 Texas Tech defeats TCU 81-66. Auburn defeats Mississippi State 80-75. Loyola Marymount defeats San Francisco 74-69. Hofstra defeats Delaware 92-70. Charleston defeats UNC Wilmington 70-61. Northeastern defeats Drexel 90-66. William & Mary defeats James Madison 70-66. Mount St. Mary's defeats St. Francis Brooklyn 73-71. Robert Morris defeats Wagner 69-60. Montana State defeats Northern Arizona 84-73. St. Bonaventure defeats George Washington 64-58. VCU defeats Richmond 69-66. East Tennessee State defeats Western Carolina 81-74. Hampton defeats South Carolina Upstate 92-71. Charleston Southern defeats Presbyterian 72-65. UIC defeats Detroit Mercy 80-71. Oakland defeats IUPUI 74-63. Bethune-Cookman defeats SC State 98-95 in overtime. Drake defeats Missouri State 73-62. Morgan State defeats Delaware State 76-58. North Carolina A&T defeats Florida A&M 63-42. Tennessee Tech defeats Eastern Illinois 63-57. UT Martin defeats Tennessee State 91-86. New Orleans defeats Nichols 80-70. High Point defeats UNC Asheville 79-74. UNC Greensboro defeats Mercer 74-47. LU Brooklyn defeats Bryant 81-65. South Dakota defeats North Dakota 78-63. Ball State defeats Western Michigan 60-58. Toledo defeats Central Michigan 80-68. Rutgers upsets number 22 Iowa 86-72. Hartford defeats Albany 82-80 in overtime. St. Joe's defeats LaSalle 72-62. North Dakota State defeats Purdue Fort Wayne 69-66. Southeast Louisiana defeats Northwestern State 69-55. Georgia Southern defeats Arkansas State 81-70. Abilene Christian defeats Central Arkansas 67-55. Eastern Washington defeats Portland State 68-66. South Dakota State defeats Western Illinois 86-66. Mississippi Valley State defeats Jackson State 60-57. Lamar defeats Stephen S. Austin 81-79. Number 5, North Carolina defeats Clemson 81-79. Loyola Chicago defeats Bradley 81-68. Cleveland State defeats Youngstown State 89-80 in overtime. Texas Southern defeats Alabama State 78-68. Air Force defeats Wyoming 80-72. Jacksonville State defeats SAU Edwardsville 97-72. Howard defeats Savannah State 81-76. Brown defeats Cornell 75-51. Colorado defeats Utah 71-63. Texas A&M defeats Vanderbilt 64-57. Georgetown defeats Seton Hall 77-71 in double overtime. Norfolk State defeats Coppin State 72-38. Southern defeats Alcorn State 61-46. Prairie View defeats Alabama A&M 72-65. Columbia defeats Yale 83-75. Harvard defeats Princeton 66-58. Penn defeats Dartmouth 65-51. Loyola Maryland defeats Lehigh 92-73. Wright State defeats Milwaukee 65-62. Morton State defeats Eastern Kentucky 78-77. Cal defeats Washington State 76-69. Vermont defeats Stony Brook 56-50. Texas Rio Grande defeats UMKC 75-70. Number 16, Kansas State defeats Baylor 66-60. Number 23, Cincinnati defeats Memphis 71-69. South Alabama defeats Texas State 77-63. UC Irvine defeats UC Riverside 68-47. Pacific defeats Pepperdine 73-72. Belmont defeats Southeast Missouri State 84-66. Murray State defeats Austin Peay 94-83. Houston Baptist defeats McNeese 86-65. Texas A&M Corpus Christi defeats Incarnate Word 74-72 in overtime. Utah State upsets number 12 Nevada 81-76. Arkansas Pine Bluff defeats Grambling 70-66. Georgia upsets Florida 61-55. BYU defeats San Diego 87-73. Northern Colorado defeats Idaho State 71-62. Montana defeats Southern Utah 70-54. Grand Canyon defeats Cal State Bakersfield 73-69. Number 1 Gonzaga defeats St. Mary's 69-55. Utah Valley defeats Cal Baptist 64-63. Idaho defeats Sacramento State 94-90. Oregon defeats Arizona 73-47. UC Davis defeats Cal State Fullerton 66-59. Santa Clara defeats Portland 78-62. Long Beach State defeats Cal Poly 94-85. New Mexico defeats Colorado State 77-65. San Diego State defeats San Jose State 84-56. UNLV defeats Boise State 85-81 in overtime. And Cal State Northridge defeats Hawaii 84-73. Sunday's results. DePaul defeats St. John's 92-83. UConn defeats South Florida 60-58. FIU defeats Louisiana Tech 83-76. Charlotte defeats UTEP 68-58. St. Peter's defeats Fairfield 62-52. Louisville defeats Notre Dame 75-61. Wichita State defeats SMU 67-55. Temple defeats Tulane 80-69. Manhattan defeats Quinnipiac 62-58. Rider defeats Marist 75-64. Siena defeats Niagara 72-65 in overtime. Appalachian State defeats Louisiana 90-80. Creighton upsets number 10 Marquette 66-60. Western Kentucky defeats Southern Miss 76-61. UTSA defeats UAB 76-70. Rice defeats Middle Tennessee 67-61. Number 9 Michigan defeats number 17 Maryland 69-62. Number 25 Washington defeats Stanford 62-61. Tulsa defeats East Carolina 91-78. Marshall defeats North Texas 85-82. Georgia Tech defeats Boston College 81-78 in overtime. Illinois defeats Northwestern 81-76. And Arizona State defeats Oregon State 74-71. Tonight's slate. 7 o'clock ESPN, number 2, Virginia at Syracuse. Virginia's favored by 6. I think they're going to win and they're going to cover. They're the better team than Syracuse, and Virginia's fighting for that number 1 overall seed. Quarterfinal of the ASUN tournament. My ASUN tournament podcast is coming out, so I'm not going to spoil my picks here for the tournament. Maybe just the first round here, as the quarterfinals get underway tonight. North Alabama, North Florida. North Florida's a 9-point favorite. I think that North Florida is the better team and that they'll win and move on to the semifinals. Liberty's favored by 13.5 over Jacksonville. Oh, by the way, North Alabama, North Florida, that's the 6-3. And Jacksonville's 7, Liberty's 2. I'm taking Liberty to win and cover. They're just a better team. NJIT at Florida Gulf Coast. NJIT is the 5 seed. Florida Gulf Coast is the 4 seed. This was the toughest one to predict of the first round, or I should say quarterfinal games. I'm going to take Florida Gulf Coast to win and cover. And obviously not going to give away my semifinal and championship picks on this particular podcast. I have that on the Ace Sun Tournament podcast. Morgan State at Maryland Eastern, 7:30. Norfolk and Delaware State, 8 o'clock, quarterfinal Ace Sun Tournament. Kennesaw State at Lipscomb. Lipscomb's favored by 24.5 points. That's a big number, but it should be that big of a number. Lipscomb's awesome, and I think they're going to win and cover. 8:30 Jackson State at Arkansas Pine Bluff. Grambling at Mississippi Valley State. Texas Southern at Alabama A&M. 9 o'clock ESPN Texas at number 8 Texas Tech. Texas Tech is an 8-point favorite. I'm going to take Texas Tech to win and cover because they are the better team than Texas, and I like how Tech's been playing. They're playing for a 1 seed. Number 18 Kansas State at TCU. This is a pick'em on ESPN2. Tough call. TCU's desperate, and I think they're going to play with some desperation, so I think they're going to win here to ensure themselves an at-large bid, because if they lose here, they're down to, I think, the bubble. Prairie View at Alabama State on ESPNU. Prairie View is a 2.5-point favorite. I think they'll win and cover. Northern Arizona and Montana, Southern Utah and Montana State, and Weber State at Idaho State closes out your slate. NBA. Saturday's results: Pistons over the Cavs, 129-93. Magic defeat the Pacers, 117-112. Heat defeat the Nets, 117-88. Warriors defeat the 76ers, 120-117 on Saturday primetime. Grizzlies over the Mavericks, 111-81. That's a shocker. Spurs over the Thunder, 116-102. Pelicans over the Nuggets, 120-112. Suns over the Lakers, 118-109. And Jazz over the Bucks, 115-111. That's a great win for Utah. Yesterday, Clippers over the Knicks, 128-107. Trailblazers over the Hornets, 118-108. Rockets over the Celtics, 115-104 on the national televised game on ABC. Celtics got booed off their home court. Hawks over the Bulls, 123-118 in the quadruple overtime rematch from Friday night. Cavs over the Magic, 107-93. That would have been my money line pick if I did a podcast yesterday, and I would have been right. Pistons over the Raptors, 112-107 in overtime. Wizards over the Timberwolves, 135-121. And the Thunder over the Grizzlies, 99-95. That's their third straight game without Paul George. I'm talking about OKC. Tonight's slate, 7:30 NBA TV. The Mavericks at the Nets. The Hawks at the Heat. 8:30 the Nuggets at the Spurs. 9 o'clock the Bucks at the Suns. The Pelicans at the Jazz. 10 o'clock the Knicks at the Kings. 10:30 the Clippers at the Lakers. And the Clippers-Lakers one's a big one from Staples, because if the Lakers win, they get back within 3.5 of the 8 seed in the playoffs. But that was just a terrible loss against the Suns the other night. Just a disaster of a loss. And that bodes well for teams like the Cavs and the Knicks who are trying to tank. Is the NHL. Saturday was a big slate. The Oilers defeat the Blue Jackets 4-0. The Kings defeat the Blackhawks 6-3. The Devils fall at the Bruins 1-0. Maple Leafs over the Sabres 5-2. Penguins over the Canadiens 5-1. Lightning over the Senators 5-1. Hurricanes over the Panthers 4-3 in overtime. Stars over the Blues 4-1. Coyotes over the Red Wings 3-1. And Wild over the Flames 4-2. Yesterday, Capitals over the Rangers 3-2 in a shootout. Alexander Georgiev, the backup goalie for the Rangers, throws his stick at Alex Ovechkin, which gives the Caps the shootout win. Flyers over the Islanders 4-1. That's a big win for Philly. Bad loss for the Islanders. Golden Knights over the Canucks 3-0. The Ducks over the Avalanche 2-1. Bad loss for Colorado. Sens over the Panthers 3-2 in their first game under Mark Crawford. Jets over the Blue Jackets 5-2. Predators over the Wild 3-2 in a shootout on NBCSN. And then the Sharks over the Blackhawks 5-2. Tonight's slate is only 2 games. The Oilers at the Sabres, so McDavid at Eichel. And the Maple Leafs at the Flames, 2 of the best teams from Canada this year. Now on to Major League Baseball, spring training. Not going to go over the spring training slate for today because games are already underway. I'll just look back on Saturday and Sunday. Pirates over the Yankees 8-7. Among notable things, Danny Farquhar pitched for the first time since his scary incident from a year ago. He was charged with the loss. Yankee regulars have been off to a good start this spring. RBI double Miguel Andujar. Estevan Florial, their hot prospect, had an RBI double. Started for the Yankees in that game was Luis Cessa, 3 innings, 4 hits, an earned run and 4 strikeouts. Jordan Lyle started for Pittsburgh, 3 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Tigers over the Braves, 7-4. Jordan Zimmerman with the win and Max Fried with the loss. Miguel Cabrera had an RBI single, as well as Nicholas Castellanos and Johan Camargo had an RBI double in the game. Fried, an inning and 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Zimmerman, 3 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Orioles over the Red Sox, 9-1. Mike Wright Jr. with the win in this one. Xander Bogaerts hit a home run for Boston. That's all notable of good that they had. Mike Wright Jr., 3 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Cardinals over the Marlins, 4-3. Nothing really special on either side. Jose Urena, 2 innings, or I should say 2 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, and 3 strikeouts. Michael Wacha pitched well, 3 innings, no hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Nats over the Twins, 10-6. Juan Soto had an RBI triple in the game. Adam Eaton had an RBI double. Kurt Suzuki hit a 2-run homer. Williams Ostillo had a home run in this game as well. Cole Stewart pitched 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, and 3 walks. Patrick Corbin pitched again, 3 innings, 2 hits, and a strikeout. Phillies over the Rays, 11-3. Zach Eflin with the win. Tyler Glasnow with the loss. Glasnow's not off to a good start this spring. An inning and a third, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. And Eflin, 3 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Rays in the second part of the split squad beat the Blue Jays 6-5. In this game, Brandon Drury and Jonathan Smoke both homered for Toronto. Brandon Lowe had a couple RBIs in this game. Bo Bichette homered for Toronto, their hot prospect. Oh, and Brett Lowe also homered for Tampa Bay as well. So that's good. Wilmer Font pretty much was their opener in this game, even though spring training is pretty much an opener scenario for some teams that only let their pitchers go an inning, which Font went an inning and a hit and didn't give up an earned run or a walk and didn't strike out a batter either. And meanwhile, for Toronto, Marcus Stroman pitched 2 innings and 3 strikeouts, so he pitched better than he did in his first spring start against the Yankees. Astros over the Mets, 8-7. Forrest Whitley got the win for Houston. Michael Conforto homered for the Mets. A.J. Reed and Derek Fisher homered for the Astros. Justin Verlander started. 3 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, and 4 strikeouts, and Conforto homered off of Verlander. Noah Syndergaard started for the Mets. A little inconsistent with 5 walks and 4 strikeouts, and he pitched 2 2/3 innings. Angels over the Reds, 11-2. Luis Castillo was the losing pitcher, and Felix Pena was the winning pitcher. Peter Borges homered for the Angels. Pena, 2 2/3 innings, a hit, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Castillo didn't start. Anthony DeSclafani started, 2 innings, a hit, and 3 strikeouts. Castillo went an inning and 2/3 for his 5 runs, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. Athletics over the Indians, 1-0. The lone run came on a wild pitch by Trevor Bauer, which allowed Matt Chapman to score. Bauer was charged with the loss. Fernando Rodney got the win Frankie Montas was charged with the save. Bauer, 4 innings, 2 hits, and earned run, 2 strikeouts. Paul Blackburn started for Oakland, 3 innings, 2 hits, and a strikeout. White Sox over the Rockies 10-6. Carlos Rodon got the win for Chicago. John Jay and Jose Abreu homered for the White Sox. Antonio Senzatella started for Colorado, 2 innings, 5 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Carlos Rodon, 3 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Royals over the Mariners, 8-0. No really notable things for any of the regulars other than an RBI ground out for Whit Merrifield and another RBI ground out for Ryan O'Hearn. Cheslor Cuthbert had an RBI single in this game as well. In his second spring training start, Yusei Kikuchi disappointed. 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and 3 strikeouts. Brad Keller went for the Royals as a starter. 2 innings, no hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Brewers over the Cubs 7-4. Travis Shaw had a 2-run home run. And Chase Anderson started, 3 innings, a hit, no earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Zach Davies in relief, 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and a strikeout. Meanwhile, for the Cubs, John Lester started, 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Rangers and Giants 0-0 tie. You rarely ever see those. Mike Minor started for Texas, 3 innings, a hit, and 2 strikeouts. Derek Collins started for San Francisco, 3 innings, 2 hits, and 2 strikeouts. Diamondbacks over the Dodgers 6-5. Brock Sturvis was the starting pitcher in this game for the Dodgers, 2 innings, a hit, an earned run, a walk, and a strikeout. Matt Andriese started for Arizona, 2 innings, a hit, an earned run, a walk, and a strikeout. Padres over the Giants 7-6 was the last game of Saturday in spring training. Among notable things, 3-run double for Ian Kinsler, RBI single for Hunter Renfroe. Drew Pomeranz pitched for San Francisco, 3 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Yesterday's spring training results. Yankees split squad yesterday in one game. They defeat the Tigers 7-1. A lot of the regulars went deep in this game, including Brett Gardner, Aaron Judge, who each homered twice. Gary Sanchez as well went deep, and then Richard Rodriguez went deep for Detroit. Masahiro Tanaka gets the win. Daniel Norris with the loss. Norris an inning and 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Masahiro Tanaka 3 innings, a hit, and 2 strikeouts. Nationals over the Astros 4-2. Among notable things in this game, Garrett Cole pitched 2 innings, no hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Anibal Sanchez 2 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, and a walk. Blue Jays over the Yankees in the Yankees' other split squad game, 5-2. Ken Giles gets the win. Trevor Stefan with the loss. Luke Voit homered for the Yankees. Billy McKinney, the former Yankee, homered. Domingo Germán started 2 innings and 2/3, 2 hits, 4 strikeouts. Matt Schumacher started for Toronto, 2 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Braves over the Marlins 6-5. Adam Duvall homered. Austin Jackson homered for Atlanta. Sean Newcomb started 3 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts for the Braves. And Drew Staley started for Miami, 2 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, and 2 strikeouts. Red Sox over the Twins 9-7. Among notable things, Michael Chavez homered for the Red Sox. He was a highly touted prospect that was suspended a year ago for PEDs. Steven Gonsalves started for Minnesota, 3 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Mets over the Cardinals, 10-8. Among notable things in this game, Matt Carpenter homered, Tyler O'Neill homered, Dominic Smith homered, Edini Hechavarria homered. Zach Wheeler pitched for the Mets, an inning and 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Daniel Ponce de Leon started for the Cardinals, 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, and 2 strikeouts. Rays over the Pirates, 10-4. Ryan Stanek with the win, Mitch Keller with the loss. Joy Wendell homered. Stanek an inning and a third, no hits, no earned runs, a walk, and a strikeout. Keller an inning, 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. Phillies and Twins tied at 3. Jonathan Scope homered for the Twins. Andrew Romine homered for the Phillies. Jake Arrieta, 3 innings, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. He pitched very well. Jose Barrios, meanwhile, did not. 2 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Reds over the Brewers, 11-5. Among notable things, a 3-run homer for Derek Dietrich. Kyle Farmer homered for the Reds as well. Christian Yelich and Manny Pena homered for Milwaukee, as well as Hernan Perez. Philip Ervin also homered for the Reds. Royals over the Indians, 13-7. Among notable things, RBI single Carlos Santana. Leotis Martin homered. Santana homered. Rangers over the Padres, 11-3. Chris Paddock was charged with the loss in this game for the Padres. 2 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Cubs over the White Sox, 13-4. Yu Darvish gets the win. Manny Banuelos to the loss. Chris Bryant hit a 3-run homer. Kyle Schwarber an RBI single. This was all Cubs. Jose Abreu homered, as well as Adam Engel for the White Sox. Manny Banuelos, an inning in the third, no hits, 2 earned runs, and 4 walks. Yu Darvish, 2 innings, no hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Orioles over the Tigers, 7-5. Nico Goodrum homered. Austin Hayes homered. Ryan Santander homered. Matt Boyd started for Detroit, 3 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Andrew Kashner started for the Orioles, 3 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, and 3 strikeouts. Dodgers over the Rangers, 6-3. Kenley Jansen gets the win. Lance Lynn with the loss. Matt Davidson homered for the the Rangers. What am I saying? Lynn, 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Kenta Maeda started for the Dodgers, 2 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Mariners over the Diamondbacks, 7-3. Dan Vogelbach had an RBI groundout. Ketel Marte RBI double. Wilmer Flores RBI double. Ryan Healy reached on infield single, got an RBI out of it. 2-run double Tim Beckham. Zach Godley, 3 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Marco Gonzalez, 4 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Angels over the Athletics, 4-1. Marco Estrada gets charged with the loss for Oakland. Mike Trout hit a 2-run homer. Albert Pujols also homered in this game. Estrada, 3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, and 3 strikeouts. Daniel Hudson pitched an inning and got a strikeout. He pretty much was the opener for the Angels. Rockies over the Giants, 9-3. This was the last game on the slate yesterday. Cal Freeland got the win. Derek Rodriguez with the loss. Nolan Arenado hit a 2-run homer. Pat Valaika hit a 2-run homer and hit another solo home run in this game. Derek Rodriguez, 3 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Kyle Freeland, 3 innings, 3 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Quickly, the Houston Texans franchised Jadeveon Clowney. That is no surprise. They had to do it. He's become a late bloomer in this league. He was injury prone a lot earlier in his career, and he's grown into one of the better pass rushers in the game alongside J.J. Watt on that Houston Texans defensive line. And good for the Texans now. They just have to get a long-term extension done. And one more AFC South news tidbit to hit. Nick Foles is expected to sign with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm assuming that there was tampering going on. Players and teams are not supposed to start talking contracts until March 11th, and then free agency begins, I believe, on March 13th. So, Foles to Jacksonville will be no surprise, to be honest, because I know Tom Coughlin wants a veteran in there. I know Blake Bortles is as good as gone. And I know Tom Coughlin wants to win right now. He has a win-now roster. Bortles let them down last year, probably the sole reason why they were such a big disappointment, and he was pretty much why I avoided picking them to make the playoffs last year after making the AFC Championship game the year before. So that is a move that's expected to happen. I'm not a huge Foles fan. I haven't seen him succeed outside of Philly, so I'm skeptical of it. But it's a move worth trying if you're a team that has a lot of talent around it in Jacksonville. Last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by DraftKings. Moneyline parlay. $1 parlay, 2-1 odds to win $3. Liberty, North Florida, Norfolk, Texas, Southern Montana, Texas Tech, the Bucks, the Jazz, and the Kings. NBA moneyline pick of the day, wagering $250. The Atlanta Hawks over to Miami Heat, plus $320 to win $10.50. And then $2.50 on my college basketball moneyline pick, Southern Utah over Montana State, plus $250 to win $8.75. That's it for the podcast today. You'll be seeing my conference tournament preview podcasts stroll out throughout the week. And on my regular podcast tomorrow, I'll recap everything from college basketball to NBA to NHL to spring training and go over any other news that breaks in the world of sports. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.